Gone absolute bonkers for Bitcoin. We smashed through $71,000. China, they're opening the door. Countries are reaching new all-time highs today, yesterday. Mainstream media starting to bend the knee to wake up. Mike Novogratz calling for $100,000 Bitcoin. And we are just at the start. What's coming next is about to shock the world. The banking system in the US, they are on the edge of collapse. Larry Fink is getting ready to take over the world. Go figure. Adam Back believes a Godzilla candle is about to rock the Bitcoin price chart. If we dive over to what's been happening, Bitcoin ETFs took in $888 million yesterday, the second biggest day of inflows since launch. Wave one of the ETF inflows took Bitcoin from $37,000 all the way to $73K. Wave two of inflows is just getting started. 100K is on the way. This 100K number is absolutely massive. Willy Woo seems like a big deal. Asia is already bigger than the US plus the EU. China is a sleeping giant. Woo blockchain, the third largest offshore exchange, Bybit, suddenly opened up registration and authentication for users in China. Bybit has long strictly prohibited the registration use of all Chinese users. The management team being very cautious about this. We'll see how that plays out. Game theory in action. A little bit of fun. Jim Cramer. There is no way Bitcoin is going to $1 million. $1 million is confirmed. This is a meme. In the finance community, there's a running joke. Whenever Jim Cramer predicts, the opposite tends to happen. This fake tweet is humorous. Nod to that idea. $1 million is in play, 100K more likely before 1 million, of course. Hunter Horsley, 61 million prox inflows into BitB yet today. Over $130 million of volume. This is the seventh largest trading day of inflows since inception. 5-6 months later, absolutely amazing. If we carry on, it just does not stop. Nearly 900 mil in spot Bitcoin ETFs. That's close to $1 billion in a single day, 5 months after launch. I was told several months ago that all of the degen retail investors who wanted to buy had already done so. Nobody was left. How can this be? James is tuning in here though. Just wait. In the next few weeks, months, people will be dunking on the Bitcoin ETFs after they have billions in outflows over a few days. We'll see things like, I told you the ETF buyers had weak hands. Guess the demand wasn't that strong after all. The biggest thing about that is these $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 days to the up and to the downside. They're coming. $1 billion come in, $1 billion go out. The volatility will send Bitcoin high. We are sitting at 71,150 right now. Keeps getting bullish. Fidelity not messing around. Big time flows all around today for the 10, nearly 1 billion. Second best day ever since mid-March, 3.3 billion in the past 4 weeks. Net year to date at 15 billion, which was top end of our 12-month estimate. You cannot stop an idea whose time has come. The third wave has turned into a tidal wave. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF had $275 million of inflows. Now, Mike Novogratz, Galaxy Digital CEO, says Bitcoin could be at 100K at the end of the year. Let's go full screen and let's get it.
Let's just start with the simple things. Let's start with Bitcoin in the crypto world, because we're flirting with that $70,000 level. And you sit here, we have been around this space for a while now. Is there more upside risk or downside risk as you see it now in the crypto world?
Listen, I think we're getting skewed to the upside. I mean, just the fact that we're here at a crypto show and Bloomberg shows how long we've come since 2015, 16, 17. But we kind of got to the finish line. And when I say that, DC has finally agreed in principle that crypto legislation has to happen, that it should be bipartisan. We still have a couple holdouts, but the last few weeks have been unbelievably positive in pushing the Democrats forward, seeing this. They don't want it to be a political issue. And so that which was a headwind is becoming a tailwind. It's not a full tailwind yet. We have governments that can't stop spending money, and so that just is so powerful for the Bitcoin narrative. And then all of a sudden you hear, wait a minute, the state of Wisconsin's pension fund bought $140 million of Bitcoin. And so as we get more pension funds in, more institutions in, you know, there's not a lot of sellers.
So the question we know you hate then, where do we end the year?
Listen, if we take out the 73,000 in the next week or so, we're going to end the year at 100,000, somewhere around there or even higher. Markets work. They they create ranges. And when the top of the range breaks, you have a nice extension. And so, the bottom of that range started around 40, so 40 to 70, the 70 goes to 100. And so that's a good enough target.
Okay, we saw spot Bitcoin ETFs already get approved this year, and we've seen a lot of inflows there. So it makes me wonder what the next catalyst is for Bitcoin to actually break 73 and get to your year-end target of 100,000.
Yeah, so I had the same question asked to me, 5 weeks ago, and I said, I don't think it will unless we get one of two things happen. More regulatory clarity, which I thought was a low probability at that point, and or the Fed starting to move. We're getting the regulatory clarity. And even though it's not perfect, we got enough that people now realize this is coming. And why is that important? What does it mean? So if SAB 121, this arcane accounting bill, in time gets overturned, it allows Bank of New York and State Street and others to get into custody. If the infrastructure bill, if the FIT 21 bill gets approved, it allows Goldman Sachs and Citibank and all these other people to start doing sales and trading. And so as you bring those institutions in, huge money follows.
Let's just start.
Huge money follows. The regulation, unfortunately, necessary evil for the big players to be able to come into the space. The regulation that's here, it's good enough, and we are going to 100K or higher, according to Mike Novogratz. Now, Bitcoin ETFs, they have resumed the inflow winning streak. BlackRock IBIT crossed over $20 billion in assets under management after a period of flat to negative flows. The spot ETFs added $2.4 billion in assets over the past month. Measly $2.4 billion, well done to them. Couple of points here. Bitcoin ETFs yesterday made its 15th consecutive session of net inflows, huge. According to Bloomberg Intelligence ETF analyst Eric Balachunas, the ETFs pulled in roughly $2.4 billion in fresh money over the past month. That would be the third largest amount of net inflows across the entire ETF market. The ability to bounce back with renewed interest after a couple of nasty sell-offs is rare for hot sauce type strategies. Balachunas said in a post on X, it shows staying power. Since May 16, though, net inflows have averaged $140 million per day, according to data from Farsight Investors, led by IBIT, which pulled in $1.1 billion over that period and continues to be the strongest out of the 10 funds. IBIT, as of yesterday, held only, this is insane, 5 months, 291,563 Bitcoins valued at $20.15 billion. They're not slowing down. Larry Fink is getting ready to take over the world, to launch his own exchange. It's pretty interesting. We'll get in there. But just the adoption of Bitcoin. So 291,563 Bitcoins taken off the market by BlackRock. That's what they have assets under management. El Salvador there, 5,770 Bitcoin, worth over 402 million. MicroStrategy, what they have, 1% of the supply, absolutely insane. And then we have people like Kerrisdale Capital that want to start shorting this market. When people short and Bitcoin starts to go up, they're going to get absolutely decimated, but there's going to be a short squeeze to the upside, and it's just going to allow it to rip higher, faster, quicker, for longer. Mark Moss, Financial Capital publicly announced their intent to destroy a company and the investors along with it. How is this okay? I'm all for a shorting position, but intentionally trying to destroy something in people. Now let's dive into it. Today, we launch a war against Bitcoin miners, an industry of snake oil salesmen that are incinerating both investor capital and the environment and should be banished from America, much like the Chinese RTO frauds that we helped kick out a decade ago. Have fun wrecking yourself there. It's probably not a good idea. With Bitcoin miners, they're only sustainable for a couple of years. In general, they're not bad for the environment. They're actually net positive for the environment and very good for the energy grid. So this here, the PSYOP is not good at all. Real quick shout out to today's sponsor, the Bitcoin Way. Master your self-custody and your Bitcoin security. Couple of things, I've brought it up a few times. They've got 2 new services. Their first service, their old service, which they still do, which is absolutely amazing. Help you take your Bitcoin off the exchange, have an air gap wallet. The second thing is Casper. Become a digital ghost online. The third thing is the most interesting, is get a second passport. Be a sovereign individual. When you have 1, 2, and 3, you are free on planet Earth. Absolutely incredible. First 30 minutes is free. Tony and the team are awesome. We sat down for a really deep chat last week podcast. I will be dropping that next week as well. So if you haven't already, appreciate if you hit subscribe, but check them out if you need any help. If you need any help with nodes, multi-sig, especially multi-sig, if you need help with that, take it nice and slow, work with the team. They can guide you and take you from zero to hero pretty quick. Tony Yazbek, the video is really cool, the podcast that's coming out, so stay tuned for that one. So, Justin, BlackRock and Citadel plan to launch a new national stock exchange in Texas to compete with the New York Stock Exchange. Here's a video of BlackRock CEO explaining how tokenization is the next evolution in finance, of course, blockchain technology. Every stock, every bond will be tokenized on a ledger. Tokenized assets on the verge of mass adoption for global finance. That's what Larry Fink has to say.
We believe the next step going forward will be the tokenization of financial assets. And that means every stock, every bond will have its own, basically, CUSIP. It'll be on one general ledger. Every investor, you and I, will have our own number, our own identification.
It sounds like the mark of the beast there, Larry.
We could rid ourselves of all issues around illicit activities around bonds and stocks and digital by having a tokenization. But the most importantly thing, we could customize strategies through tokenization that fits every individual. We would have instantaneous settlement. Think about all the costs of settling bonds and stocks. But if you had a tokenization, everything would be immediate because it's just a line item. And so we believe this is a technological transformation for financial assets. I believe if you want to talk about voting and voting choice and all the things, if we know every moment who is the owner of that stock and it's now time to vote, every individual who has ownership is identified and they can vote their own share.
When I watch something like that, all I think about is, thank God, I'm so lucky, I'm so grateful that my Bitcoin is in self-custody. You don't want any of these Muppets to hold the world's hardest asset on your behalf. Tokenization, obviously Bitcoin, quote-unquote crypto that's come into the space, has really showed how archaic the New York Stock Exchange is, how stock markets in general are. They don't trade 24/7. They have trading halts. We'll see how this changes the world, but they're trying to play catch up to Bitcoin here. That's my opinion on it. Adam Back, and a couple of people think Adam Back is Satoshi Nakamoto. He is saying still under 100K. Something has to give. So this is the 4th of June. We're only 450 Bitcoin are mined a day, roughly. Bitcoin purchased by the ETS was 12,508. Absolutely incredible. Bitcoin's going to keep doing Bitcoin things. It's just TikTok. Next block. So we are sitting at block height 846,000. Look at those numbers. 6663. 846,663. The exchange rate 71,040. Sats per USD. For every $1, you get 1,408. For every $10 over 14,000 Satoshis, it is still looking good. Average block time, look at that, 101. 10 minutes and 1 second. Target time is 10 minutes. We literally must have just had a difficulty adjustment there. Public reachable nodes, 18,562. 2 reasons to run your own node. Support the network, allow Bitcoin to stay decentralized, and obviously you become your own bank. There is one hidden there. Be a self-sovereign individual. It's really not hard and a whole lot of fun. Incredible, hey? And I can see in the chat there as well is Gargoyle saying markets are already cooling off. We just pumped. People just want pump after pump after pump. Gargoyle, it'll happen. It's coming. The lower it stays down, the better. But we've held above 71,000 for 2 days. We'll jump straight into the price chart here now. Or roughly, my apologies, I lied. 24 hours, the low was 70,200, a high 71,740. We're sitting at, this is not true, it's just over 71,000 and $47 at the moment. If we zoom out for 7 days though, we have come up. It's looking good. It's heading in the right direction. If we get a bit of a pullback, definitely very welcomed. Whatever pullbacks we have from now until the end of the year, they are going to be short-lived. Maybe while we're living through them, they may feel very long, very extended. You may get bored. You may get shaken. They're designed to shake you out, but people shorting Bitcoin, Bitcoin miners, China waking up, money printing about to start, Canada cutting their interest rates by 25 basis points. It's all lining up to be a massive, huge catalyst. So whatever happens, don't sleep on it. Unchained has put out an ad to be able to sleep soundly on a Bitcoin standard. I'll repost it if anyone wants to see it. We've got a couple of videos to get through there today. Unchained offers like a collaborative custody multi-sig option. I don't know. Do you really? How long are they going to be around? Are they going to be here in 100 years when your grandchildren need to access your Bitcoin? If you need help with self-custody, the Bitcoin way can do it, and it's not an ongoing fee. That's up to you, but you can check out what unchained.com has to offer. They are very well respected within the Bitcoin community. I just think handing over, even if it's a multi-sig, to somebody else in a collaborative custody setup doesn't make any sense. Franklin Templeton, CEO on Bitcoin ETF adoption, says this is really the first wave of the early adopters. The next wave is the much bigger institutions. If you are watching live or watching the replay, let us know if you've been here for a while, not how long. People don't need to know that. But if you've been here for a while, or this is your first day, if this is your first day in Bitcoin, welcome. $71,065 is extraordinarily cheap. In my opinion, it's not financial advice. Bitcoin will reach $1 million. That's inevitable. It's just based on math, and the reason being is they're going to continue to debase the money. This fiat currency that so many people work so hard for, when they print more of this, it becomes worth less and less and less. They can't stop it. They're going to continue to do it. It's guaranteed to go to zero against Bitcoin. But what's going to happen is as they print more of these, Bitcoin's going to continue to go up. It's going to hit 1 million. It's going to surpass 1 million. The time frame, I don't know. Jack Mallers, he's the CEO of Strike. He reckons $250,000 US to $1 million this cycle, so over the next 12 to 18 months. I don't know if that will play out. Very, very possible. The 250K, you know, so many people calling for 100K, $150,000. Regardless, who cares what happens short term? Study Bitcoin, read the books. This Bitcoin Evangelism, his second book. This is what Bitcoin is. Brian Demont's second book, Parallel Economy, is the how of Bitcoin and how it is shaping the world, becoming this new money that people are choosing. You've got a little bit of time to get onto a Bitcoin standard to make your life better, to be able to hedge against inflation. I'd study it as quick as you can, make the most of it, and the lower it stays down, the better for you. It's not going to last long, though. We see it happening more and more. And I think the CEO of Franklin Templeton says it pretty well. We'll hit play.
Let's talk about spot Bitcoin ETFs. We're 5 months in. You guys have roughly $420 million in assets under management collectively across all the spot ETFs. We're looking at around $58 billion in AUM. How are you feeling about things, nearly halfway through the year?
No, I mean, on the spot Bitcoin ETF, we're feeling really good about it, actually. We are the lowest provider in the market, and, I think we've been happy with the growth.
And so what's next? Are you looking to capture more market share or optimize for the clients?
100%. We're hoping that people will be fee sensitive and we'll capture more market share. And as people become more interested in the space, you have a lot of firms that are a little bit in a wait and see mode. So you haven't even gotten that second wave. Like, this is really the first wave of the early adopters. And I think the next wave is the much bigger institutions who get more comfortable with kind of how it's settled out.
It's pretty interesting. One thing I noticed here is how closed off she is. She's not open. She's not free. She's really just huddled over I'm not sure what that's about. I definitely need to analyze that video a little bit more. Maybe they're a little bit sour that they're not number one and they have fairly low fees. I guess the biggest takeaway is you're better to hold Bitcoin in self-custody than the ETF. What this lady is saying, though, is as people start to warm up to the idea, they see, you know, countries like El Salvador, but tone it down a little bit. Just the success of BlackRock or MicroStrategy's Bitcoin strategy. And then as other companies are following what MicroStrategy has done, they're having very similar results. Like, is it Metaplanet over in Japan? They did really well as well. Saving a dying corporation, a dying entity. It happens over and over and over again with Bitcoin. Wisconsin State Pension Fund, $160 million, 0.1% of their assets under management into Bitcoin. It needs to happen slowly. But when people see the success of it and Bitcoin's price rising will be the highest thing, like we rose $100 in a couple of minutes. As this goes, and that's this $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 days, Bitcoin's at 100,000, 120,000, 150,000. They're going to wake up and be like, oh, we better get onto it. And that's where this phrase in Bitcoin that you hear all the time, especially on X or in podcasts, slowly then suddenly. It's the fear of missing out. It's a real human phenomena. And it's why this party is just getting started. It's going to continue to keep going. We'll probably go through these 4-year cycles for a little bit longer. But the 4-year cycles to the upside, it's absolutely incredible. Oh, tomorrow, the lead analyst from Glassnode, James Check, who's known as Checkmate, both on YouTube. He's got an incredible YouTube channel. The lead analyst, very good with the charts, very grounded, very level-headed. We'll be going live tomorrow at 8 a.m., which is 20 minutes later than the time right now. So I'd turn on that notification bell if you've hit the subscribe button for that. James is absolutely amazing. Really, really cool, intelligent guy and the lead analyst. So I'd tune in for that if you've got any questions about what we are seeing on chain with the data. This is why I brought him on. He is an expert, highly credible, really knows his stuff. So look forward to that. Amazing. This is just the power of Bitcoin. The Human Rights Foundation, they donate 10 Bitcoin worth $708,000 to fund 13 worldwide Bitcoin development and projects. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Well done. Totaling 1 billion Satoshis. I'll repost this and then you can jump into this article here. What the Human Rights Foundation, it's so funny. They call Bitcoiners psycho. And yes, we can be a little bit toxic. We can be a little bit right-wing, a little bit extreme, very blunt. It's because when you put in so much effort and you read all these books, I don't want you to read, I want you to read the books so you're not eating the bugs. Like there's literally this agenda. And even if the agenda is not true, your financial power is being absolutely decimated. Bitcoin is the life raft. And Bitcoiners, they actually care. They care so much, they don't care about your feelings short term. Because long term, they know on a Bitcoin standard, life will get better for you and your family if you take the time to study it. You can just buy, stack, and chill. Like that's the easiest way. It's super easy. But because Bitcoin is so volatile, you may get shaken out. By reading the books, watching the podcasts, reading articles, you can ride that volatility, realize it's not risky, that it is going up forever, literally, Laura, and you'll have a better life. So sorry, not sorry. If your feelings are hurt because you come into the space and the Bitcoiners were mean, just take a moment to check yourself. What limiting belief do you have within inside you that's not allowing you to grasp the greatest freedom technology for mankind? I'm sure most people here get it, but if you're new and you disagree with Bitcoin, that's on you. That's just a lack of proper information. Anyone that puts in the time and the effort to understand Bitcoin and comes over to Bitcoin, they don't go back. It's because it's fair. Japan, Bitcoin, all-time high. We're going to see this everywhere in the world. We could see this by the end of the week, this week as well. Gargoyle, no, I did not clean the sticky keyboard this morning, yesterday, but I will do it this morning. Yesterday went absolutely crazy. Had this meeting with commissioners here in Australia. Hectic, can't go into it, but it is absolutely insane. It's just non-stop grinding and big job, big list of things. But I stopped using this keyboard yesterday and I used my laptop. Not good for your wrist, so I will be cleaning this keyboard today. Anyway, totally random. Stackholder, yesterday the FDIC reported that 63 banks near insolvency and Bitcoin had its second biggest ETF day ever. Probably nothing. We have seen this before as well. When we had Silicon Valley Bank collapse last year, I believe Bitcoin, please fact check me whether it was Silicon Valley Bank, but we had a bank collapse and Bitcoin just absolutely pumped. It is literally turning into this flight to safety. As Larry Fink, love him or hate him, he called it. Bitcoin is this flight to safety, this flight to quality. People are listening. And when they see these things, these dominoes that are falling of 63 banks, bang. Or if they start failing, they just start printing money to prop them up. Absolutely insane. We'll see. But probably nothing. I think it's probably something. I'd be getting ready. Thailand, the SEC, that approves this first spot Bitcoin ETF. Australia, we had the first in-kind spot Bitcoin ETF launch on Tuesday. The EU has launched a Bitcoin ETF as well. Peter Brandt, he predicts Bitcoin bull market with Bitcoin potentially reaching 150K. Novogratz, 100,000. And a year, 150,000 here by Peter Brandt, has emphasized the symmetry in Bitcoin bull market cycles, suggesting that forget about the price. I just really want to talk about the next peak may occur in late August or early September. When are the elections? October, November? I think this will probably extend out, but they're going to start money printing leading into that. That's my opinion. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking about 2024, the elections for this year, next year. Disregard all that. There's a whole lot of nonsense. August, September, it lines up. September, October, I think most people, judging by history, are looking forward to. If you're trying to trade it, that's a dangerous game to play, listening to these traders. 150K, August, gonna wait. I'm going to sell, I'm going to wait for it to come back down. Never comes back down, it continues to pump. We don't know if this time is different or not. It's not advised, but if you are going to trade, just don't trade with your whole bag. Most traders lose money. Most traders, especially early traders, if you're new to trading, it's a pay to play. It's something you need to learn, which is fine if you want to go down that and you want to turn that into a profession. If it's just about holding sound money and becoming free and freeing up your time, just buy, stack and chill and just save in Bitcoin. There's a strategy called DCA, dollar cost average. You buy every day, week, month, whatever, just on a consistent basis now and forever. Because Bitcoin is the new monetary system. It's not getting about rich or wealthy. It's literally about survival, being free, having economic control over your own person and your lifestyle. That's what Bitcoin is. Yes, you'll get wealthy in fiat terms, but fiat is going to continue to keep going down. So people ask, when do you sell your Bitcoin? For what? For what? What are you selling it for? If it's there to improve your life and you've got your retirement and what you're going to pass on to future generations, you got that stack, and then you've got a savings account and a spending account within Bitcoin. As that saving account grows, you get a 5x, a 10x out of it, and you've put enough money in there for a house deposit or whatever it is that you want to buy, and you get a 5x. Well, that thing's now 5 times cheaper, and then just continue to save. We're not all monks. The world's absolutely beautiful. Enjoy it. Bitcoin just gives you the power to enjoy it more if you're willing to slow down and wait and hold or hodl for a while. It's my opinion. It's the way that I'm seeing things at the minute. Anyway, price of Bitcoin potentially reaching 150K. However, Peter Brandt remains cautious, signing 25% probability that cryptocurrency has already peaked. So 25% people see that, they're like, oh, that's big, but 75% that it hasn't. You only need to be right 51% of the time to be a successful trader. So 75% odds are pretty good. I wouldn't get shaken out by the 25%. Imagine just for one moment, just imagine if we've hit the peak. That means cheap Bitcoin are coming. I don't see it happening. Banks failing, money printing, BlackRock trying to take over the world. Just the amount of Bitcoin that Wall Street in general has taken up. We got the EU, Australia, Thailand all launching ETFs. Bybit opening up to China at the top of the cycle. My opinion, no way. I think we're just getting, I believe we're just getting started. I think the next 12 to 18 months are going to be absolutely insane. Please be ready. This green button, it feels good, it looks good, it's absolutely great. The red days when it's down 10 or 20, $30,000, that's where you need to have the diamond hands, those big steel kahunas, to just be able to be like, yeah, I got this, like, let's bring it, let's smash buy and let's go. To go up, we need to go down. Anyway, if you've got any questions in regards to charts and flows, let us know for James Check tomorrow. And at the end of this, we will get into a bit of a band. So the high of this bull market could be in the 130 to 150K range. Historically, the weeks from the start of the bull market to a halving have closely matched the weeks from a halving to the cycle's peak. If the sequence continues, the next bull market cycle high should occur in late August, early September 2025. Very possible if we do that. And I don't think the 4-year cycles are broken this time. I think we'll need to wait till next time. August, September, maybe, maybe not. Do we get a shorter? Well, there's two ways. We either get an extended bull run and it just keeps going up, and then we get a major sell-off, but that's bought up real quick, and then we go into the next cycle again, and it just keeps going up. Or it plays out as it has played out, and it is pretty symmetric. It's got a lot of symmetry going on. We'll see. Time will tell. Maybe just don't try time it, because this is literally what's happening in the world. 63 US banks on the brink of insolvency. Why Bitcoin's next target is 100K. Bitcoin price may be closer to the big 100K mark than many realize. As a looming bank crisis could see Bitcoin become the new safe haven asset. How funny they use that is because that's what Larry Fink is saying. That's the messaging, the information, and calling Bitcoin a safe haven asset is still propaganda. It's positive propaganda, but it's still propaganda. It's fine. It's a nice soundbite. I like it. The digital gold narrative, it's good for the everyday person to understand. Digital gold, digital store of value, and with scaling solutions like Lightning, Liquid, and digital cash as well, but a superior form of cash. It's like digital cash gold. Anyway, at least 63 US banks are on the brink of insolvency in the first quarter of 2024, up from 52 banks on the problem bank list during the third quarter of 23, according to the FDIC quarterly report published May 29. Moreover, the banks are collectively sitting on, hear this, 517 billion worth of unrealized losses, up 39 billion from the previous quarter. This marks the 9th consecutive month of unusually high unrealized losses, according to the FDIC's report. Higher unrealized losses on residential mortgage-backed securities resulting from high mortgage rates in the first quarter drove the overall increase. This is the 9th straight quarter of unusually high unrealized losses since the Federal Reserve began to raise interest rates in the first quarter of 22. Healthy the US banking system growing concerns since March 23. Following the sudden collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and the voluntary liquidation of Silvergate Bank, Signature Bank was also forced to close operations by New York regulators March 12, 2 days after Silvergate Bank liquidation. In response to the collapse, Federal Reserve created the Bank Term Funding Program, offering bank loans of up to a year in return for posting qualifying assets as collateral. This emergency measure was what started the Bitcoin bull run 23, according to BitMEX founder Arthur Hayes. Hayes argued that this led investors to seek fixed play assets such as Bitcoin. Me and the rest of the market rightly saw through this is basically them admitting that they caused this problem, the structure of the banking system. This is one of the ways you can fix it, which is print more money. Money printing, we keep hearing that over and over and over. There's so many reasons they're going to print money. It is inevitable whenever it happens. I think September, October this year leading into the election, that's when we're going to see it. So everything looks happy. Everyone feels rich, wealthy. They go out there with joy. That's if we're not all locked down by then. But what happened in 2020 when everyone was locked down is hard assets. Bitcoin obviously was the greatest performing asset, but real estate is still up from there. Stocks are still up from there. Everything just ripped up either way due to money printing. Money printing is coming, whether it's this year, next year, 100% inevitable. There's no other way. What other way do they have? They default. They're not going to default. They want to hold on to the power as much as possible. So I'd be getting ready for more of this up and to the start of the 2023 banking crisis. Just bang. It just absolutely exploded. And look where we're going. Like, oh no, we came down a little bit. But the start of the 2023 banking crisis, absolutely amazing. Please excuse me for that. And then we've got Daniel here. We'll get Daniel on the show. I need to reach out to Daniel today, and I will, mate. Bank of Canada today, European Central Bank expected to cut this week too, and Bitcoin is only 2% off its all-time high. Bank of Canada cuts rates for the first time in 4 years. Financial market forecasts the ECB to follow suit. Thursday, I dare say Australia is going to be one of the later Western countries to cut interest rates, but everyone's going to have to. We're all tied to the US dollar. It's just this game theory happening. I wonder if they all get together and they have these meetings. They're like, you first. No, you first, you first. All right, yeah, we'll go first. And then they're like, all right, we'll go second. And are they drawing sticks or straws or I don't know what's going on. But they sort of work in lockstep and you can see it's like tick, next one, next one, next one, next one. It's interesting how interconnected everything is because we are all tied to the one unit of account, which is the US dollar at the moment. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is the news with the fast facts. If you haven't already and you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe. James Check tomorrow, Checkmate, will be coming on, literally the lead analyst for Glassnode. So any on-chain questions, hit us up, let us know. Say hi in the comments and do something nice for yourself, somebody else. So I'm going to jump in to the comment section. Good morning, legends, freedom fighters, sovereign individuals. Well done on being here at this time in history. Like it's the greatest time in human history. And we're here for it. You're taking action. You're becoming obviously self-sovereign. Like it's throughout history, those elites, the controlling class, the people at the very top have always wanted to have as much control over the population as possible. Serfdom, slavery, it's happened. Bitcoin's the first time in human history where you can have unconfiscatable property. And then on a Bitcoin standard, what we're talking about with the Bitcoin way, like shout out to him. I absolutely love talking to Tony. Hopefully, don't know if I'll get to call him today. It's a busy day, but today or tomorrow, I'd like to have a chat with him. With Bitcoin, you become a digital ghost online. You've got your money sorted and you've got a second passport to whatever country is going to look after you the best. It gives the power back to you. And when you hold the power, that allows real change. Instead of just living by the status quo, if we have enough people on the Bitcoin standard, and it's this flywheel effect, it's going to grow and grow and grow, whether it's exponential like the stock to flow or Bitcoin just does what it does or it follows the power law, whatever it is. All charts, all trends, everything say Bitcoin's going to keep growing as people hold it in self-custody, not the ETF. They become empowered. It gives them a voice to be able to push back. It's pretty cool. So I just want to thank all of you for taking those steps, reading the books, learning about it. Just buy, stack, and chill. Just by doing those things, you're making the world a better place. For that, I'm so grateful. It's a pleasure to be here. Now, Simon Picala, g'day, Jason Mercer, good to see you, brother. Jake Thomas, shout out to you, Fly Over USA. Appreciate the definition there. Crazy, hey? Like, it sounds like the food basin where everything is grown. Politicians, nobody really cares. The most important place, I guess that's like Australia with all the cattle farms and stuff. It's not as pretty when you go west. It's a lot drier, a lot of dust, a lot of dirt. There are some beautiful pockets, but it's just ignored. But it is like one of the most important things for the country. It's sort of sad, hey, that we're so cut off from the thing that gives us our very life force. So I appreciate you, Jake Thomas, being there. Simon Picala hitting the like, appreciate. Shifu, g'day yo, OPD in the house. Tommy Love, morning all. My home state, Pumbaa, is... Australian Stock Exchange Bitcoin ETFs having FOMO. I'll need to look at that. IBTC. I'll bring that up while it's loading. Change today, it's up 2%. It's not showing it. It is. Here we go. I'll bring it up. Hey fam, hit the like button already. Do something, do anything. Good to see you this morning. Gargle, Jason Mercer. Market's already cooling off again. We went through that. I don't know. Yeah, I just don't feel it. The price day to day, moment to moment, like, I don't know. The trend is up. I don't even feel like it's cooling off. Like, I just feel like it's just like taking a sip of water, getting ready for its next leg up. No bugs for us stackers, 100%. Novogratz, how's that Luna tattoo feeling? It's a shame Luna, like our dog's Luna, she's the most beautiful creature in the entire world, and then that Luna scam collapse out there. Mike Novogratz, Scott, is it like a wolf and the moon or something, and the words Luna? And that's why you don't mess with crypto, ladies and gentlemen. No matter how smart you think you are, even if you're running a big fund, yeah, you get wrecked. It's what crypto is designed to do. Obviously, Bitcoin is not crypto, but yeah, a world of hurt, hey? Bitcoin is the only money the world will ever have. I see they've launched an investigation to Roaring Kitty. What a joke with the likes of Nancy Pelosi and her cronies, clearly insider trading without any investigation, 100%. Jason Mercer, the chat got really weird really quickly this morning. Don't let anyone have a sniff of your Bitcoin. Gargoyle, you can sniff Bitcoin. I shall now give it a go. Smell the truth. Smells kind of orangey. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. See, when you got time on a Bitcoin standard, you can just go down whatever bloody rabbit hole you feel like and say whatever the hell you want. Well done. This is strange, real strange. Early adoption, we're in the fourth cycle. The fourth turning. I tried. Jason Mercer. I have to read it. Jason Mercer tried orange pulling my dad again last night. Orange pulling your dad. It didn't work out for you, hey? Might be a better approach to orange pill, Jason. Well, that went degenerate. Ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin is a very, very serious asset. Because Bitcoin is so serious and your life gets better very quickly, you can bring the fun and the joy back into your life, and you don't need to live life so seriously, because Bitcoin's taking care of all the serious stuff there. Jason, I hope you're okay, buddy. Crypto Gator, happy Wednesday, everyone. Made the live. Good to see you. Hand over your Bitcoin custody as like cash in the bank. FDIC insurance fund has 121.8 billion in it, and there's 22.4 trillion just in USA banks. Let that sink in. I wonder if Sean cleaned up his... No, I did not. Sticky keyboard, and it was from T as well. I had to think about that, which made it seem kind of awkward, kind of weird, but it is because I drink a lot of tea and not trying to orange pull anyone. It was the bank in SVB. You got me in, mate, and I'm learning from you. No miner, no network, 100%. They're not going to succeed. They take down one, somebody else. It just makes every other miner more profitable if a major miner comes off. But I don't think it's a winning strategy. We'll see. And waging war to destroy people on unfounded beliefs and opinion without doing proper research, it's disgusting. I wonder if Lizzie Warren is behind it. Green candle in the house. Good to see you. I will run through these. Ask Checkmate, when is the top? Well, nobody knows the top, but I'll ask him. I shall ask him. Checkmate, when is the top? 8-year bull run just started. All these price prediction models on social media make me laugh. Unless you can detect money printed, it's all just BS. The world leaders and their money policies are the price metric. Checkmate, when is the top? How much? Also, how much will be the top? Yeah, it really depends, I guess, on the money printing. But we'll see. 65 banks on brink of insolvency. The world will be herding to Bitcoin, whether they know it or not. Shout out Johnny Moo, game theory about to commence, 100%. Phil, watch Bitcoin double to 140K rapidly after passing the all-time high. FOMO time, OPD, read the books. Just go for Jeff Booth. He is one of my heroes. When are you going to get Saylor on? Saylor will definitely be coming on this channel. I promise you that, ladies and gentlemen. When that's going to happen, I don't know. I've never talked to Saylor. Not yet, but that will happen. I don't care if it takes 10 years. That's happening. At some stage, Jeff Booth will make that happen sooner rather than later as well. Maybe something is happening, moving towards that. It's been a pleasure. Have a beautiful day. As I said earlier, do something nice for yourself, but for somebody else, maybe give them the message of Bitcoin. Whether it's a book, Bitcoin Evangelism, Beers for Bitcoin, Principles of Economics, the Bitcoin Standard, The Hidden Cost of Money, Knutsfam's home book, Praxology is a really good book, Infinity divided by 21 million, Crypto Sovereignty at the back, Beers for Bitcoin, we brought that up. The Price of Tomorrow as well. Whatever books it is, maybe give somebody that book, share this video, share some of the podcasts that are coming out. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow with Checkmate in the comment section, not the live chat. Drop any comments there and say g'day. Have a very beautiful day. Be blessed. Peace.